Welcome, everyone. It's the Mike Tech Show, show number 915. This afternoon, going to talk about the CrowdStrike outage from a week ago, just briefly, and then Outlook 365 desktop app, the desktop app cleanup tips, running into lots of clients that are hitting that 50 gig limit. ShareFile error, how to take care of. TreeSize, I want to go over that because I haven't talked about TreeSize in a while. And a PowerShell script, and then I'm going to leave you with this GoogleFu. Yes, GoogleFu. So I will let that dangle, and that'll be the last topic. That's from an email from a listener. So the first thing we're going to do is let's talk about CrowdStrike. And what I'm going to do is flip to my test machine. And on there, I have all right. So Microsoft was the biggest vendor of, I guess, the biggest user of CrowdStrike to be noticed, where CrowdStrike is it's an independent cybersecurity company, and they released an update on Thursday night that made every Windows machine literally blue screen and not be able to reboot. And if you had servers that were relying on this security and accepted the patch, it was impacted, and it caused what I believe is billions of dollars, because you have the airlines, there's financial institutions, banks. I mean, just terrible, terrible outage. And Microsoft did jump on it, and they found a workaround where and this is the first link for tonight. This is from the official Microsoft blog. And what they're doing is they had to boot into safe mode, drop to a command prompt, delete a very specific file from the CrowdStrike directory, and then reboot. So this is a blurb on the incident, what happened, and I'm sure a lot of you were dealing with this. It's interesting. I was dealing with it from the standpoint of clients not being able to access Microsoft resources. We had no clients that use CrowdStrike. So that we were kind of lucky on this outage. So just dealing with the Microsoft, just had them, hey, be patient. They'll be back up online soon. And I was dealing with that from Friday morning at 7 a.m. as I was woke up with calls of not being able to access SharePoint and different Microsoft services. So, all right. There is a storage limit, and I'm getting hit with clients that are now reaching that 50 gig limit in Outlook. Because if you have an OST or a PST, you're limited to 50 gig. And I have a couple things, and there's a few links today that I'm going to have. And the first one is the storage limit reached on 50 gig mailbox. How can I increase storage? And it's really just the information on how to really clean up your mailbox. And this is the hardest thing for users to understand, because you can go into settings, the storage page, and you can get a breakdown. I'm going to show you how easily to do that. And you can start deleting your mail that you don't need. Permanently delete email. Deleting your deleted items. Saving attachments to local storage or OneDrive. That's the biggest culprit of killing the size of your mailbox. It's attachments. Everybody uses Outlook as a file manager. And because of that, they don't clean up by saving the attachments and then deleting the email. So a lot of people, when I tell them they got to delete messages, I try to explain you want to delete the ones with attachments, but they don't get it. And they say, I deleted thousands of messages. Yeah, but you didn't delete the right ones. So that's why you're not getting the space back. So the next link here is manage my mailbox size. This is a great cleanup utility that you can find all of the messages that have attachments that are greater than a certain size. You can actually see them. When I ran this on my Outlook, even though I haven't hit the limit, I found attachments that were 2007, 2008. And I'm like, I don't need these. And I was able to just do some extra cleanup for some of my email accounts. So you go into Outlook, you choose File, Tools, and there's a mailbox cleanup. Take a look at that. You can view the total size of your mailbox and really get to the folders that are killing you. You can see the folders that are extra large where you can start there to begin your cleanup process. You can find items older than a certain date range, and then you can archive them. I don't recommend auto-archiving. I like to archive manually, but if you're not familiar, your client's not familiar, you don't have the time to teach them, have them turn on the auto-archiving. You can view the size of your deleted items folder and empty it, and you can also view the size of your conflicts folder and delete them if you have a conflicts folder or a synchronized problem folder. It depends on your email host on what you're going to have. But here's a good best practices. Archive older items. And when they mean archive, they mean actually create another data file, another PST. I have a schedule on Tuesday for a client that's been so busy, and she's now using mail on the web, a SureWeb customer, and she can't use her Outlook anymore, and she doesn't have the time to do this. And so I'm going to work with her on Tuesday, and we're going to go over all of these things. I'm going to teach her how to archive. Then empty in the deleted items folder, empty in junk email folder. And then, of course, what I mentioned already, store attachments outside your mailbox. But this is a problem. It's not going away until Microsoft, if they get rid of that 50 gig limit. I don't think it's possible with the way Outlook is written and what it's written in. So anyway, since I figured I'm getting hit with this from different directions from a few clients, I figured I better add this as a topic for today. And that's why I have it. So wanted to go over that. There is another Outlook problem I ran into with a client that uses ShareFile, and I'm going to have this link in the show notes. ShareFile for Outlook has fired an exception. And this happened on 2 clients that use ShareFile, and I found this great little summary of how to fix this. And it's very simple. The solution is I had to close Outlook. I have to uninstall any instance of ShareFile for Outlook. Then it told me the specific directory for the ShareFile for Outlook, and you got to empty it. So I emptied that directory by deleting the contents of that folder, made sure I had the latest version, installed it, no problem. Did not get that error anymore. So that was a nice, easy fix for one of my clients. Now let's keep going here. I'm bringing up my notes. Okay. All right. Space. This is something that we run into a lot, where the hard drive is running out of space. And you need a good utility. In the show notes, I will have the link TreeSize Free. It's by Jam Software. I've talked about this in the past, but it's been a long time since I mentioned it. So I am going to demonstrate TreeSize. I really like it. So let me minimize my browser here. Now I've already installed TreeSize, so here's the icon, and I'm going to launch it. You have to select the directory. So I'm going to pick the C drive. And what this will do is go through the entire hard drive, and you'll see the folder, like the Windows folder is 21 gig. Well, what's killing us on that 21 gig? 'Cause a lot of things you can't delete. So if you take a look, it's all the WinSXS is taking up 10 gig. By the way, that was 13 gig a couple days ago. I used my Ultra Virus Killer utility to clean up, and it did get me 3 gig back there. Everything else, I can't delete things out of the System32 or the Syswal 64, so that's pretty much it. What you're looking for here is like the users directory. So what is being taken up on my test account? The app data directory, and this is where we found the local, and then Microsoft. You'll find Outlook taking up a lot of space. This is where you might be able to find where there are huge PST files taking up space that are not being used. Maybe you did some kind of an upgrade or a transfer. There might be you had to recreate a profile. So there could be lingering PST files that are really big. This is where you can hone in exactly where you're getting the space being taken up on the hard drive. So you see this drive is my test system, and it's pretty clean. You got program files. Now, a lot of times we'll see like big downloads under a user file. And then, of course, cleaning up temp directories is obvious. You want to be able to do that. But TreeSize Pro, very, very good program. It's free, and it just works. It is really, really good. It has saved us a lot by focusing in exactly where we can clean up the space on that drive. And you can, of course, pick any drive. It's not just the local. You can pick the external, any external drive, or, we use this utility a lot. This should be on your USB stick. All right. Let's keep going here. I think we are ready for email, and let me take a look. I want to thank I think Acon. I want to thank you for your quick response to me on the fix on CrowdStrike, in case I had a client that had it. And the fix that I went over, Acon, just told me about that and sent me a link. Thank you very much. Pop on Tech. Listening to you talk about Evernote sounds like the sunk cost fallacy. The fact you have so many issues with it leads me to believe you would be better served by another app. It's not so much I have the issues as I am whining a lot, and so does Kate, and so we do complain a lot. If you do a lot of mobile note-taking, I would not recommend Notion, as its mobile app is pretty horrible and doesn't work offline. Well, thank you for that, and that is by AY. Thank you very much. And now a triple shot from Bill. Got 3 emails here. And this is a follow-up to the Outlook problem that my client was having with Hotmail. This is after I read his fix. I understand that your client wants to run in the Outlook client. That was why I said to upgrade to Outlook.com. And you are correct, Bill. I think that Microsoft may be doing that intentionally to get people to upgrade. I have an Outlook.com email that works fine in the Outlook client, along with my corporate 365 email, which is exactly the position my client's in. So I got to convince him to upgrade to Outlook.com, but he has a lot of software licensing, like his personal Microsoft, his Adobe subscription. A lot of it is tied to the exact Hotmail. So we got to make sure that the Hotmail is sending to his Outlook.com email. So I need to test that before we go through that process. But Bill, thank you very, very much. Okay. He sent me, I'm going to get back to my test system here. Bill sent me a link to a script for PowerShell. Let's get to that. And this is a PowerShell script to create local user accounts or local groups. And if you're into PowerShell, this is something you absolutely want to take a look at. This will be in the show notes, this link, and take a look at the script. Of course, test. Never implement something that you're copy and pasting, but here it is. Copy the following code into a file with the extension PS1. And you have a PowerShell script. It goes over a lot of examples. Very, very useful. And Bill, I thank you. And then the final email here, and we're going to spend just a couple minutes with, and let me get rid of the ad, the Beginner's Guide to GoogleFu. 10 tricks to be a GoogleFu black belt. So searching using Google and properly searching, they are referencing like a black belt, like karate, like kung fu. And the first thing is GoogleFu is defined to be a skill used in the Google search engine to have access to a lot of accurate information results. Additionally, being GoogleFu sounds very cool. Well, I don't know about that. Just some sort of Marvel characters. One can become a GoogleFu black belt if one knows all of the Google operators to use realistically. I am going to copy and paste that link in the chat just so anybody who's here live with me doesn't have to wait until I post the show notes up. But let's take a look at some of the things. So they're saying only 1% of human beings can properly search on Google. Now, what you have to do is use operators using the plus. And here you go. Every word matters. Try searching for who, the who, and a who. Order matters. So the order in which you list things out in the search bar in Google matters. Punctuation does not matter. Interesting. Capitalization does not matter. That's very, very cool. And there are exceptions, and then list of all Google operators. So I use the plus sign a lot, but I stop there. I do use quotes when I want exactly what I am searching for, and that's the exact phrase here with quotes. This operator helps you get exact answers. And they have an example here. Try the monk who sold his Ferrari, and then in quotes, and you're going to get different results. Number range. This is interesting. So this operator helps you set a range of numbers in your search results, and they give you examples. I like this because you get the examples. The minus sign. So here, Nelson Panthers, or Panthers minus the team minus the club, and you're going to get different results. Similar words, the tilde character. Inclusion, that's the plus sign. You want to include house on fire or include house on fire. Oh no, that was the tilde. The include, Tomorrowland Marshmallow Performance Tomorrowland plus Marshmallow, and then performance. The asterisk, and what is the asterisk? This operator helps you get the results when you are not sure for a niche in your query. All right. What else? Or, and I mean, you're familiar with and or, and that's what some of these operators are. If you do any basic programming or anything in Excel or VBA or something, you probably ran into this. And then advantages of being a GoogleFu. So these are all kinds of great examples, and I like that, Bill. Thank you very much for sharing that. It's kind of cool to share, different things that you probably never heard of or, haven't experienced. And that's what I like to bring it to your attention, cool utilities and cool sites. So that was all I had planned. I'm very busy. As a matter of fact, this after I'm all done posting the show up tonight, I have a QuickBooks upgrade to remotely do for a client where they have a lot of QuickBooks databases. So that's going to take time to convert each one to the new version. So that I have. I also have a client that I know has been reaching out to my son and myself as I was trying to get ready for the show today. And he has a problem with his laptop. I'm not even sure what the issue is. I asked him to reboot that, and I'm going to talk to him after the show, find out what's going on, and we'll take care of that. So no time to rest on the weekends here. So Thursday night, I had a lot of client work, and I wasn't feeling up right, so I just pulled the plug on the show, and that's why I rescheduled it for this afternoon, and doing a lot better and feeling good. And it's a nice day out, but it's still hot. Got the portable air conditioner on in this room and to cool things down. So that is it for show 915. Please email me if you have any questions or suggestions or follow-up or a cool site or utility, a review of something. Email me, miketechshow@gmail.com. Don't forget, miketechshow.com. Check out the show notes. And in every week of the show notes, there's a button, there's a link to support the show. And if you click that, make a one-time donation, make a regular donation, that really helps. I really appreciate that. Also, don't forget, the videos for the show is posted up on my YouTube site, and that's Michael Smith MTS on YouTube. That is it. Everybody have a great weekend. I'll hopefully see you back here Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Twitch. Bye-bye, everybody.